There is no way whatsoever for me to even, maybe an example, when I was in Rajneeshpuram and he did a drive-by, I was together with a woman who had a child. So he had this habit of just stopping and giving some flowers to the children. And he was very close and nothing actually really happened. I just was there in his presence. And I was wondering, and then we went off and hung out in nature, and suddenly I just opened up, or something just opened up, and I was just crying for no reason at all. My heart just went like, whoa. And it was just like suddenly feeling him, or there's no him really, as far as I understand it. I just felt the presence of, it's impossible to explain. I really don't know. I just know that meeting him and experiencing him and feeling him and listening to the gaps between his words. You know, he always goes like, don't listen to me, just hear the gaps in between. And yeah, silence transmitted, or words transmitted to silence, or something was said about that. He mentioned that it's impossible for me to really explain how that experience was, except that it really gave me the security that yes, life can be absolutely wow, by getting out of this Vinaya thing, out of my mind, out of my body. I don't know if I could answer your question. It's impossible. It's just like, you know, when you meet a person and you're open and you feel a person, nothing needs to be said. One can connect with silence more deeper than with words. I lately used to say, when somebody asks me, how are you? I go like, don't ask, look.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's impossible to say, except again and again, he was the greatest blessing I had in my life. And my life was absolutely fantastic, is absolutely fantastic. And I had many, many blessings, many, many blessings. But he was the greatest blessings of all. I feel so fortunate. I can just about cry. Just, yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. Just feel me. Just like, yeah.
In your video, you have mentioned about when you took the decision. I have listened to some of your video where you said you told your mom that I'm going to India to meet Osho or this, and you mentioned about follow your heart and not lead by fear, but lead by following your heart, following your love. And we are at this time where whole world don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, what would happen after the lockdown, or when would this happen. What's your advice how to get higher above the fear and following your heart and going deep inside?
Yeah, it's actually very simple. I have heard Osho say, and I often quote him because his understanding, his insight about our mindset, our psyche, our makeup here in this world was, I had so many, that's why moments when I heard him speak. And about fear, it's like when we really look back about our fears we had in the past, most likely all of us can see that 99.9% of these fears, they never happened. Never. And there's a saying in English, fear means actually false evidence appearing real. So that's one thing I would like you to understand, that fear is really a useless exercise because it doesn't really happen. And the other thing is, when I sit and be in the moment and be here and look what really is, it's fucking fantastic. There's nothing to worry about. I'm alive. I have whatever I have, and I'm available to everything. So there's no need to be afraid of the tomorrow, which really never comes. And specifically in this time, we have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow. So out of this understanding that I don't really know, why worry about it? Because I have no clue what's going to happen. And about this following your heart is really like this example you said. When I was 21 or something in that neighborhood, I finally found out, yeah, okay, I can't be a good German and I need to find something else. I told my mother I'm off to India because I had this vision when I was younger. I saw the Himalayas, a picture of it, and I need to go there. And okay, since I didn't know what and where and how, I remembered that, and I said to my mom, oops, I'm off to India. See you, have a good day. And she goes, what are you going to do when you're old? I don't know. I figure that out when I'm old. I don't know. Right now, I only know that my heart tells me, go to India, go on a search and find out what is more there. So really following one's heart, and okay, so and through this following my heart, my life went from great to absolutely fantastic. So I really would like all of you to just follow your heart. And fear and the mind, it doesn't know. The mind doesn't know. It really doesn't know. I can argue for any given point and win a yes and win a no. I can make arguments for everything and it's all correct. So my mind really doesn't know. But what I've learned through helping people, I do spiritual counseling and help them to get more into meditation or being in meditation. It's not meditating really, it's just being in that space. That the heart, and scientists actually discovered that, is able to connect with the quantum space, which is a space where everything happened, has happened, will happen at the same time. And the heart is able to connect with the possibility, or the possibility of, like, I have gone to Portugal. And then I go and feel, how does that feel? And I get an answer. Oh, that was horrible. That's like not happening. Okay. So now then what I do is I close my eyes, I become conscious of my breath. And when I'm here, because when I'm conscious of my breath, not focusing, but just being conscious of how it goes in and out, I can't think. I'm out of my mind. Very simple exercise. And then I just visualize, even though I don't know how it is in Portugal, I just visualize and say, I am in Portugal right now. And I get the message from my heart, how does that feel? Okay, check. Then I become aware of my breath again. I'm in Australia, or I do this job, or that job, or this boyfriend, or this girlfriend, or whatever the decision is. And I just, how does that feel? I know the answer. And then I just have to take the courage to do what my heart says. And yeah, a split second later, my mind comes in and goes, yeah, but blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And then there's another trick I learned from Osho. It's like, don't fight with your mind. It's impossible. It's fighting with yourself, basically. It's then saying to your mind, yep, okay, you're right. It's impossible. I don't have money, or this guy doesn't have blonde hair, or whatever the reason is that my mind says I can't do this. And then I go, yeah, you're right. And you're very intelligent. I'm doing that. Just help me to achieve this. So I'm putting my mind to use, and then my mind goes, oh, okay, I'm still needed. And then I figure out how to do this. So really following your heart is one of the most important things, specifically in this time, because I really don't know what's going to happen. I have no clue. And the heart knows. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. Getting back to again, back to your journey meeting Osho. So you were 21, and do you know at that time you are going to India just to meet Osho, or you didn't have any clue at all? You said,
I
I'll
had no,
just go to India.
I had, yeah, I had no clue. I just knew I need to find something which is more
Can you
life.
share more about your experience in when Osho was in Pune, Pune 1, Rajneeshpuram, Pune 2, and when Osho died?
Yeah. When you said Osho died, that was interesting. But yeah,
Osho
um,
departed from this planet.
yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, okay, I was traveling around India for quite a while, meet some saints and holy people, and no, that wasn't it. That was just nothing. Yeah. So, but then by and by, I met these orange-clad people, and
And
it was about.
what year was this?
Okay, I left was 21, 54, 75, 76.
Mm.
I was there in India the first time. And then by and by, I met more and more of these orange-clad people who, in my book at that point, were strangely weird because, like, I keep on laughing about that because, like, everybody says, be yourself. And everybody looked the same. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What does that mean? And so it took me I'm very stubborn and slightly slow in some moments. So it took me a few years to actually realize that just traveling around and having new experiences every day is getting boring as well. It's like always the same, even though it's different in different countries and stuff. And then I remembered that I was always attracted to these weird orange people. So I went to Pune. And wow, that energy in the ashram, and that was Pune 1, was really amazing. And I more and more fell in love with the people first. And because they're the reflection of Osho, and that's what we can do right now, be a reflection, be a transmission from the master. And through this love and like feeling at home with sannyasins, I then finally decided to take sannyas. And yeah, so I took sannyas, and without actually really knowing at that point what that really entails, I just knew in my heart, and that's again following my heart. I always was lucky to be intelligent enough to not follow my mind too much, and really following my heart. So I just took sannyas and then did some group, did some work on myself, and more and more became centered and not influenced by the opinions of others, by the outside and everything. And then it was just a love affair. I was just like basking in the energy of Pune, and it was just
And
amazing.
at that time, Osho was talking in English or in Hindi?
In English.
In
And he
English.
had like 2 discourses a day, and it was actually really funny because the morning discourse you had to get up pretty early, and I was so tired. And I learned to sleep sitting. And then I was always worried, am I a good sannyasin? Am I a good disciple? I'm always falling asleep, And then he goes one day, somebody asked him, Osho, I'm always falling asleep in your discourse. And he goes, yeah, that's great. Because then your mind is out of the way, and it's actually going really deep inside yourself. So I was like, okay, I can fall asleep in the morning discourse, no worries. It was just an amazing time for really experiencing everything what my mind wanted to experience or desires and stuff, because everybody was on the same page. Everybody was on like, who am I? What is that true that I like this? Is that true that I like that? And the energy, this support as when there was thousands of people on the same path, even though everybody different. You had an idea, oh, I want to try this out. And one was a lot about sexuality and emotions. So you had this idea, oh, I want to try this out with a woman. And then suddenly, an hour later or whatever, somebody drops by and it goes like, oh, I want to try this out. And like, oh, we're doing the same thing. All right, try it out. So really like going through all our stories was an amazing benefit. And then he left. And I traveled around a little bit in India and then went back to Europe, and then I needed to go to Rajneeshpuram. So I went to Rajneeshpuram, and it was just amazing what we created there. It's just like creating out of a desert place, a paradise with farms, with a lake, with everything. It was just amazing. And yeah, then came the story with Sheila and the Oregonians, and suddenly people were around with guns and all this stuff. But like personally for me, it didn't matter. It's just, yeah, okay.
Were
If
you
somebody
there for a whole time when Osho was there?
And no, because it was possible, because I was German, so I had to leave every 3 months, get a new visa, and then come back. And I joined 2 of the world celebrations, which was, I mean, like we had this airport hangar for meditation and also for discourse later. And I was sitting one morning very early near the hangar, and suddenly the noise of a few thousand people doing dynamic meditation hit the surrounding countryside, and like, whoa, I need to do this tomorrow morning. And the support of all of us being together in this journey was so amazing. And yeah, and then suddenly all this other weird stuff started to happen. I left at that point. When the homeless people came that time, at the end, near the end, I left and I needed to earn some money and do some other things. And so I really didn't experience firsthand all the stories.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I come to that.
You have to work 12 hours a day, and a lot of people say it was very hard at the beginning. Most people work and no meditation.
No, I didn't have to work. I did work because I wanted to work. I wanted to share, and wanted to help, because like, what I'm gonna do there? Just sit there and do nothing? And what? No, there was not. And as far as I know, there was no requirement that you had to work. But yeah, I don't know necessarily everything anyways, but for me, it was just a joy to share my energy and share with other people, other sannyasins, in the creation of this wonderful place. So yeah, no, there was no, I never felt nobody ever told me I have to do something or I need to do something. And in the end, if they would have said that, I would have probably laughed, because if it doesn't feel right for me, I wouldn't have done it anyways. But no, there was no Zwang in German. There was no requirement as far as I know. No. And
people living inside the commune at that time, were they aware of the politics happening outside, or any hostility from the outside world or the community?
I was not aware. And I lived there then in 3 months increments, and then I had to leave, then I came back. And no, I wasn't really aware about the outside animosity. I then heard, like the last time I came, suddenly we were greeted with people with sannyasins with guns on it, like, what's going on here? And but then it was explained that the Oregonians were like threatening us. And yeah, that ties into like the moment right now, like not fighting for the good side so that the bad side cannot win. Like I said before, it's like, no, I'm completely staying out of it, and I'm being in meditation as much as possible. And if there will be a threat coming from the outside to my physical body, I definitely will make steps to protect myself, because yeah. So I completely agreed with, okay, if somebody wants to come and shoot us, then definitely I'm up for that, we have a peace force, I think it was called.
Peace force, yeah.
To protect us, no problem about that. But no, I just heard stories, but I personally never experienced any animosity towards me. Even when I went to, what's it called, that village? Forgot. The village close to Rajneeshpuram. I went there a few times.
Antelope?
Antelope, yes, Antelope. And I hung out with local people, and I never had a problem, really. And I didn't feel anything. Mind you, I have this understanding that I don't necessarily have a problem with people, and I sort of accept them the way they are, even though if I don't understand it, how they function and all of that good stuff, I usually don't have any problems. So yeah.
Have you seen Wild Wild Country?
Yes.
And what do you think about it? One of the other reason I wanted to have this kind of conversation and heart-to-heart chat with old sannyasin is like, as a new sannyasin, I feel it was like very much misled, not showing the whole picture. And in the whole video, it was like 4-person interview, and there was no mention or nothing about Osho and his teaching. They're saying like,
Yes.
oh, community versus the religious freedom kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah, I watched the series, and there's a few things. I mean, in the end, this animosity and the story about Sheila and what happened in the background, I understand that was true. And Osho, at one point, I heard him say that, and well, okay, there's so many things, but when I look back on Osho's work in Pune 1, Rajneeshpuram, and Pune 2, Pune 1, he really worked with us in the first chakra and second chakra. Rajneeshpuram was the power chakra. And he often mentioned misuse of power. Absolute power is absolute possibility of misuse. And Pune 2 was more like the heart and creativity and meditation. So I guess it was a very big lesson for all of us. I heard him say at one point, it couldn't have happened without your consent. You were not doing something about it. Mind you, most of us didn't know about it. When I was there, I had no clue. Now, coming back to the series of Netflix, it is mainstream media. It is putting out the idea of the Matrix, for better lack of word. Yeah, and so I wasn't surprised that it was one-sided. And I was not surprised that nothing was coming out from Osho, really, or nothing was said about Osho and his teaching and how he helped gazillions of people to become more aware and awake. So I'm not surprised about that. So in the end, yes, there was some truth to what have been said, and it was definitely not the whole picture. There's always two sides to a story. We need two people to tango, and there was only one, so that doesn't quite work. And then at the end, you know, Osho, like when he was asked about, what do you think about you as a sex guru, or about the 99 Rolls Royces and that, he goes, it's great. The best advertisement is negative advertisement. You know, I don't care about the people who don't like me. I only care about the people who, through this negative advertisement, which is like going way easier and is way more prevalent than the positive one, then the people who are interested and get inspired, they can hear about me. So in a certain way, this Netflix series is a beautiful negative advertisement so that people can more check out, like, what's this guy about? What is this really? That's my take on that series. Yeah.
And moving on. So after Rajneeshpuram, what happened? Did you went to Pune too as well, or you were
Yeah.
just okay?
Yeah.
Can you tell
Yes.
about your Pune 2 day?
Yeah, Pune 2 was... So anyway, he came, he left Rajneeshpuram, he went on the world tour. I was, I think, in Germany because nobody knew where he's going to pop up in the next moment. There was no one. So I was basically in Limbo and enjoying my life in Germany. And then suddenly he went back to Pune, and it was really strange because at that point I didn't really have a desire to go to India, to Pune. But then I got a reading from a psychic, and it was, you need to go to Pune. Okay, I'm off. Knowing, I'm psychic as well, and with my readings and with the work I'm doing, I use that, so I know that that is a valid information source when one is connecting with something else. So I went to Pune. I had $500 or German marks in my pocket, or euros. No, it was German marks still. And I was going to stay 3 months. I never left. It was so clear that what am I doing somewhere else? Osho is here, and that is the only important thing in my life, because he really helps me or shows me or let me experience my inner being. And so I never left, and I just stayed and managed somewhat to wiggle my way through the legal requirements of staying not over half a year or whatever that was at that point. And it was okay because one needed to go out of India every now and then to rejuvenate the body, because the pollution and the food, it was great to go out for a month or two to rejuvenate and get some good food in. So that was then easy. And then I had my holiday once every year or 2 years, but stayed the whole time in Pune. There was no point to go anywhere else. And it was even more wow than Pune 1 or Rajneeshpuram, because it was a very concentrated place and many, many people came. And India had this wonderful, in India is so wonderful. It's like no matter what you do, no matter how you look, no matter how you dress, they think you're crazy. So there was also a place where you had an absolute freedom to express yourself the way you are without getting put in a nut house or in a jail or whatever. And it was so wonderful to be in this supportive energy of Corrigan Park, of the ashram. And and then in Pune too, I started to do groups. I did with Smart Devatbhava. She's having now what's it called, for children who have no parents, an ashram in Rishikesh. We started to we created this group, Trust the Impossible Before Breakfast. And which was basically working through our chakras, and started sharing our insights, our gifts with the community, and giving readings and basically being of service, because in the end, once you get more and more into yourself, there's only so much sex and drugs and rock and roll you can do, as I used to say, and then it gets boring, and so what are you doing now? It's like nothing is exciting anymore, except suddenly the excitement or the fulfillment came into helping and showing how one can be more in oneself and become more aware and conscious. So in the end, I got more into that, and being in the presence of the master was just fantastic. It was just undescribable. So that was basically Pune 2. It's like the whole journey through Pune 1, Rashtripuram, Pune 2 was a journey into myself and yeah, being more in meditation, so to speak. And about his death, that was really, I was so pissed at him. Holy shit. Not because he left his body, because, but like I really wanted to be in his presence. And I never really wanted to leave and be just there till the end, because it was clear later on in Pune 2 that his health was going down and he was in pain, and only came out to really share his love and his blessings for us. It was somewhat clear that it's not going to last for another 50 years. And so I really tried to be, not tried, I wanted to be, and I was there all the time. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I have no clue. I had my once a year rejuvenation holiday exactly when he left his body. So wow. I was, it was like, I was so pissed. It's like, now, why did you do this now? I really wanted to be in your presence. Sorry. And so I really don't know how it would have been when I was there, if I would have been there. But personally, when I heard the news, it was just the same experience I had like a few years ago. My father left his body and I was in his presence when he left his body. It was amazing. There was no tears. There was no sadness. There was no anything. There was just, he left. There was nothing to be said. We all do that. And yeah, he left. Wow. Thank you, my master. Thank you for giving me my freedom. Thank you for the blessings. I had the opportunity and the gift to be in your presence and experience your beauty, your fullness, your wellness, your undescribableness. And he's gone. And at this point, actually, in the last few years, the more I become in the space of beingness, the more I feel him. It's almost like I heard him say at one point, or many times, you know, when I leave, I will be in my sannyasins and will be coming out through my sannyasins, the ones who loved me, the ones who experienced me. And so I will be, instead of in one place, I will be in many, 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 many places. And my work can be even more beneficial. And I know this to be the truth, at least for myself.
Wow, very good for explaining in such a beautiful way. One of the questions that I like to ask is, after his departure from this planet, there was a sudden decline in Osho movement. We don't hear about Osho. We hear, but like very only in the sannyasin circle, not in the mainstream out world. And a lot of people quote him, but when you hear their quote, it's, oh, that was coming from Osho, and now you quoted. And even in the spiritual bookshop, it's very hard to find his book compared to other contemporary spiritual writer, and people who know him only know him as some fictional spiritual writer. That's how his image is portrayed. And even in my circle of friends, like when you mention Osho, they mentioned the cult, the Wild Wild Country. What do you think? What was the reason for decline after his departure? Because his message was like silent explosion, very powerful, but it didn't come like as you can see. Even to find the sannyasin is very difficult. You don't know who is sannyasin anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was kind of strange because, like, after he left his body, and everybody scattered in the four winds, and it was somewhat clear that, yeah, everybody's doing his own thing now, and the core, the center, the master was gone. And I was kind of sad at that point because the communes kind of declined, and it went more into a political story, specifically in Pune. And so I was a little bit sad about that, but it was also, I was also always remembering that where we are, he is. And I'm not a missionary. And so I didn't really, and I never was. And I heard him say also many times, don't be a missionary, just be. And then when question inquiry comes, you can answer. And yeah, and now he's back in the news. So everybody gathered and did their own thing, whatever that is. And I hardly had, I had a little circle of friends, old sannyasins I stayed in contact with. But it was really clear, it's like the focus went away from growing and being inside to more like functioning and being in the world, which is needed because we are here. And yeah, so there was some sadness in there and some like, oh, okay, now it's going down the drain. But I really don't know if that was beneficial or not. Now that he's back in the news, people can be more inquiring and can get more interested. And as far as books is concerned, I don't know how it is in different countries. And yes, they're hard to get. And since in the time when he was around, everything was recorded and audio and video. There's a lot of material on the net, and some of the old sannyasins have old videos, and I personally have like not everything, but like for 5-6 years every day watching a video of him, I have like billions of videos, original ones. And there's on YouTube from the cooperation of Rajneeshpur, Osho Rajneesh, lots of videos being put up. Some of them seem to be edited, I don't know. I never compared the original ones with the ones out. But it doesn't quite matter because somewhat if one is open and available, just watching a video and listening to the gaps in the words, you can get a taste of Osho. And reading a book, the first thing I came across with Osho was a book. And I read the book and I was like, whoa, I need to know more about this. Because it just really strung all the chords in my being. But like listening to him would be another step further into like really experiencing him. And then seeing him and watching videos, even if it's just a 10-minute video about some subject, you know, the foundation put out a lot of short clips, can give you a taste. And the next big step would be see if there's Osho centers around and see if there's old sannyasins around. And
one thing I heard recently, I think you have heard this about London Real and David Icke interview, how the YouTube and mainstream media have put the censorship and copyright.
yeah.
And at the same time, there were a lot of Osho commune and Osho center all across the world because of the copyright from Pune and trademark from OIF. they have been shut down and censored or taken down from
Yeah.
YouTube, which was happening before. And recently now, because the David Guy story is coming on the surface level, how the power, when there is too much power, it corrupts. And we are seeing that. What's your take on this?
In my German style words, it's fucked up. And it's extremely fucked up, because how can you put a trademark on, and there is no trademark on Buddha or whatever. So, okay, that's that, right? And when I share things about Osho, and some of my videos where I just put a clip of Osho in were taken down by YouTube, that's unfortunate. There are probably ways around, but I don't have enough energy to find them. I could take probably from my original videos, I have some clips and put that up. And then some of my friends always go like, yeah, but you can't say that because it's trademarked and stuff. And basically my answer usually is, well, let them come after me. I'm going to have a good laugh. And they take me to court. Let them take me to court. They first have to find me. You know, I'm at the moment in Costa Rica. Like, good luck.
Moving over, yeah.
That's my take on it. And yeah, it's not correct. And hopefully, because now apparently every one of this inner circle had to leave Pune, maybe, possibly, hopefully, and I don't even know if it's important, there will be a change in these things. It's just up to all of us to just go like, I don't care. I quote him as much as I want. And if you take me down, I put it back up. Take a different platform, you know? And like you, instead of saying Osho meeting place of friends, you say Bhagwan meeting place of friends, you know? Or you say the masters, whatever, you know? It's like, there's always ways around it, you know? It's like, yeah, that's my take on that.
Moving away from all this political, let's move to your work. You are a spiritual crystal healer. And I don't know much about crystal, but being spiritual, and from my own experience, I wear this ring. This is an emerald. And before, when I was in meditation, I had this problem of being grounded. Like I meditate, and then you come to there's the Osho says, Zorba the Buddha, right? When you are in meditation or you are in Buddha field, so I usually, like you, we didn't have for me, in my spiritual journey, I was from Nepal, and I had the spiritual teacher, Swami Anand Arun, who had the Tapoban International Commune in Nepal, where he still do the things like in Pune one days, where there is still a commune alive with the Osho fragrance. I go there like every 2-3 times a year,
Nice.
2-3 weeks. And when I come to world, like as Osho teaching Zorba the Buddha, the Zorba part was very hard, very, very hard. I could not ground myself. And as soon as I start to like, we have the culture of showing to astrologer, and he said like, you need the emeralds that will help you ground. And I wear this ring, and I feel very grounded afterwards. It was like 2-3 months. I become like, was more relaxed in Zorba the Buddha. I want to hear about from your side about crystal and everything, because you are the spiritual crystal healer.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, well, it started off when I was 16. I found a crystal, and I go like, whoa. And I remembered, and I became a crystal freak. I collected crystals left and right, went to outside, bought them, wearing clubs, and really were a collector. And at one point I was in Hawaii, and there was this guy with a pendulum on always these, kind of pendulum thing. And he made a demonstration at that point, these Swarovski crystals, his lead glass crystals, came in fashion. And he showed to a woman the effect of this crystal, which is a man-made story. And so what he did is he measured the extent of the auric field with his pendulum. How far does it go out without anything? Okay, it was whatever, 1 foot, 2 feet, whatever. And then he said, put that Swarovski on. She did that, auric field was gone. He went all the way to her body, gone. And he said, take it off, take this crystal now, the quartz crystal, put it in your hand. The auric field extended to 10 feet. And I've been psychic all my life. I always had a different vision and could see things which are not necessarily obvious. And in that moment, it just hit me, you know all this. This works. And then I started to go a little bit more into the understanding why this works. And it's basically very simple. Everything is a vibration. Every material has a vibration, including us. And for example, sound healing works because it is a certain vibration which gets put into us to not counteract, but to see if you have one wave, like a frequency, say going up, just like that. If you put the opposite wave on it, it comes to zero. That's physics. So if I put a certain vibration on my disharmony I have in the body, and I put the opposite or higher frequency on it, this vibration can get brought down to the normal, to the healthy state. And the same thing works with crystals. They all have a certain different vibration. So wearing certain crystals, that frequency is called entrainment, brings us to the same level or the same frequency. So if you have a stone for grounding, and because you need grounding because you're all over the place, you put that stone for grounding into your auric field, that frequency harmonizes with your ungroundingness or brings your ungroundingness back to a groundingness. They work like a charm. And specifically quartz, which you can actually program, which we know from computers. Computers are working with quartz. They can be programmed. They hold information. Plus, they amplify. So crystals are a very beautiful tool for various applications, so to speak. So I use them for energy rebalancing, which includes Reiki and sound and all sorts of things. But they're the amplifiers of whatever's been needed and put in. And I usually use them for psychic readings as a tool. I have a variety of different stones, and you select one, and then I'm just open to your higher being and see what comes. And that basically a bridge, a tool to connect with yourself. In the end, if you work with crystals, the most benefit really is that you need to become more aware, because the energies are not necessarily like, you know, it's not really like, boom, oh yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's more subtle.
Sure.
And so working and playing around with crystals makes you more, out of necessity, makes you more, you need to be more aware of finer things. You need to be more conscious, which is basically all what Osho is about, and growing up and awakening is about, becoming more aware and conscious. So they're not an end to themselves. I cannot just take a crystal and program it and say, help me to be in meditation. It will not really bring me into meditation, but it will amplify my ability to become more aware. And then I have to walk the walk. Yeah. And yeah, so I just use them as wonderful tools to bring people more into awareness. And sometimes, like you say, I can tell you, oh, this crystal, this stone would be beneficial. because it brings me more into the space of easiness. I don't necessarily deal with like you know, I'm ungrounded, so I can't really or like this, you know. That's not really helpful. Okay, if I'm more and more in meditation, then I just see that as something which is happening on the outside, and it doesn't really faze me because I'm the one who's watching that. I'm not fazed by it. And having this experience on the outside can be a little bit detrimental to be in the watcher. If I'm completely in anxiety and fear and pain and stuff, it's a little bit more difficult to be in the center and like be not identified with that. So they help us to be more at ease with ourselves. So
With
yeah,
your crystal reading, can you predict a person future, or work on where he have to go in life, or he or she?
it's I cannot predict the food future. That's impossible, except if you're a 9-to-5 person and you never change anything in your life, and you're not going to change anything in your life, I can tell you exactly what you're going to do in 10 years. So that would be the only way I can predict the future. But no, that's not possible. The reading is really in the moment. It's what is most beneficial for you to pay attention to. Certain meditations come up, certain things come up, which is like what is beneficial to look at and let go of or become aware of. Your gifts in life come up. Some of us have gifts through singing to share or to this or that. Some of us has jobs to do, like sharing the light and sharing the beauty or whatever it is. That's one of the main things. And for future or decision makings, if you have like 2 or 3 different jobs or 2 or 3 different boyfriends or girlfriends you want to choose between, or whatever you have a choice to make, we can see what are the energetic benefits or outcomes of every choice. So say if you want to do job A, I look at what is the energy of that? What can you learn from this job? When you do job B, job C, or whatever, and then you can make a more intelligent decision. Oh, this I don't need to learn right now. You know, oh, this is really good for me to understand and learn. Or oh, I don't need this relationship because that looks like more I'm going back into old stories. And or it's like, what? Yeah, it really depends. So it's twofold. You can look at decisions, what's the energetic outcome, so you can make a more informed decision. And the main part is really about what are my gifts, what are my challenges, what is great to pay attention to at this point in order for me to become more aware and conscious. That's a reading. And the energy rebalancing is basically, you know, there's blocks in us energetically and stuff which are non-beneficial or old energies and stuff, and that's just removing them or realigning your energy parts, so that's more easy to be more in the present again. And it works like this, and everything works on a distance, so I never need to be really in presence with the person, because yeah, it just works out of experience, where like people are 10,000 miles away, I give an energy rebalancing and they go like, whoa, what just happened? So I really know that distance works. And yeah, that's part of my work and part of my sharing, besides sharing my joy and bliss in life. And like, hey guys, there's no point in being sad and fearful, just like yeah. So I help people. It's really hard to say a word, and for better of lack of words, I call it spiritual counseling, where I just look at your energetic being and see what is beneficial now for the next week to do, so that you step more into your power. Basically, being in Pune 1 and going through the stories bit by bit, so that we come free of our programs. Yeah, and that I do through counseling. And then in the past, now it's going to be possible in the future, who knows, I was at festivals and gave workshops about how to be more present and how to be more in meditation, giving a little bit more understanding what meditation really is, which it is not sitting in the corner and going, oh. It can be helpful. Yeah.
Coming to that, quick question. So right now, because of the lockdown, there is mass global awakening happening. At the same
Yes.
time, there is this, as a meditator, one of the things that the most meditator have to go through is sexual energy. And because of this lockdown, they are saying that a lot of the demand of the porn site are going up. And in this time, how do you cultivate your sexual energy? And there is two things. One is sexual repression, and another is sexual depletion. And I have seen one of your video where you explain this very beautifully. I just wanted to hear about how to channel your sexual energy for
Yeah.
rejuvenating your health, your body, your
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, porn sites and all of that good stuff is for beings who are really not interested in going inside and finding fulfillment on the outside. Yeah, which is temporary, and maybe many of us need to go through this experience in order to see that that's not it. So it's nothing, I'm not against it. It's just like if you're more aware and then finally find out, yeah, well, that's really only temporary. That really doesn't give me anything. One can get out of it. I remember, or I've heard Osho say that you need to experience all these things in order to understand that that's not it. Just don't get stuck in it. Okay. So how to cultivate your sexual energy specifically if you're alone and you don't have a partner to do this. And there's a beautiful exercise, and it's called the microcosmic orbit, I think, but no, I'm pretty sure. You can do that without a partner, and you can do that with a partner. And first, to understand that your sexual energy or our sexual energy is nothing else but our life force. Without that, we came out of sex. It's our strongest drive, at least for the first 40 years. And it's our energy, it's our life force, it's our chi. So keeping it in my sexual center is slightly detrimental, because specifically out of many experience of having orgasm after orgasm in different women and different this and different that, it is only temporary. It's like 5 minutes later, it's gone. And I would like some more. So, but then it's gone again. So it's actually not really fulfilling. And through this understanding, I might have the desire to cultivate my energy. So what I'm doing is, I first started through masturbation or through sexual intercourse or what, yeah? I raise my sexual energy. I get really juicy and horny, and it's really fiery, and then I stop. I'm not going for the orgasm. So what I'm doing is, when I'm stopping, with the next in-breath, when it's really nice and hot, I'm just about to have an orgasm. With the next in-breath, I squeeze my PC muscle. That's a muscle as when you pee and you stop to pee and that's a PC muscle. And then I then I visualize my energy from my sex center traveling up my spine with the in-breath like this. And when I'm up here with the out-breath, I release my PC muscle and visualize the energy going in front of my body back down to my sexual center. And with the next in-breath, I squeeze again. That's it. Then eventually the sexual energy will go down. Then I can start it again and do it again if I want to. But when I do this exercise, it basically brings all this energy, which usually is stuck in my first chakra. I bring it up through my whole body. And it's an old exercise. The Taoist people do this. Many old cultures, the tantric people, everybody knew about this. We just forgot about it. And that is a wonderful way to cultivate my sexual energy. And the lockdown is an amazing blessing because you can only watch so many videos and then you're like, whatever. So it's really a good time to go inside and cultivate our energy and be more present. It's a blessing in disguise, so to speak. So that's the most beautiful way to cultivate my sexual energy. There's a variation for that, which is called the big draw. So that when your energy is really, really hot, you stop, you take a breath in, and then it's preferably you're laying down, and then you just tense every muscle in your body and hold your breath. And automatically your whole energy goes through your whole body. It's called the big draw. It's a Taoist exercise. Yeah, these are the two. The microcosmic orbit is the most easiest and beneficial way to really cultivate your energy. And you can do it as often as you like and give full energy into it. It's juicy, it's fun. And it gets us also out of this momentary pleasure. Because by doing this, you will feel, and also like for men especially, if you don't ejaculate and do this like for a week, every day, you won't believe your energy levels. You won't believe your like fullness because you don't release this energy. You keep it for yourself and it will be in your whole body. Try it out.
Thanks. That's a very good tips. Okay, I'm going to a bit of now esoteric talk.
Okay.
Tell me about your experience deep in meditation and any mystical experience you have experienced with Osho.
Well, the most, besides being in his presence and just being, one of the most intense experiences I had was in a group where I don't know how it actually happened. I went inside and there was this explosion. My whole body was about to explode. And I had to laugh. I just had to laugh and laugh and laugh. And then the group leader said to me, like, go in the bathroom and look in the mirror. And I could hardly make it. And I looked in the mirror, I saw my picture, and I just had to laugh. Everything was just hilarious. Every thought I had, it was just fun. No, not even fun. It was just hilarious. It was an intense belly laughter. Like, I think I posted that just recently. It's about, look at your life. It's a big joke.
Yeah.
It's like, and yeah, so from that point on, it's like when I am in like weird situations or my mind is going overboard and stuff, I remember that, and then I just laugh at my own stupidity or my own weirdness, and it's all gone. It's just like, it's hilarious. There's nothing serious about life, even though my mind thinks it's very serious. But when I go inside and look, it's like, no, man, this is hilarious. This is just a joke. That's that. And when I'm in meditation, when I sit and be present, which is like, in any given moment, I'm sitting in a bus. I remember. I keep on forgetting all the time, mind you, but I'm also remembering all the time. And I just go inside and be in the space of the watcher. It's an undescribable experience, really. It's like you're just observing this movie, and there is a wonderfulness to it. There's a fulfillment through it, in it, of being able to just being present, which is just undescribable. Mind you, my mind comes back 10 seconds later and tells me a story, but then I learned to just, I'm becoming aware that I'm not aware, and then I see my mind, and then I see the dialogue, and it's very easy. The more and more I remember, and the more and more I have the practice of just watching it and not engaging into the story, just, you know, things passing by. I only can say try it out, not try it out, do it. Just again and again, be in the space of the watcher. And in the beginning, it's helpful to understand that what I can see ain't me. Because in order to see something, in order to observe something, I need to be outside. I need to be separate. I cannot see my hand if I would be my hand. So obviously the one who's seeing, Osho calls this the watcher. And it's so true. I'm seeing this, it's not me. And remembering that and going back again and again into the space of observing changes everything. It's not esoteric, it's actually very, well, esoteric means hidden knowledge. So right now it's not hidden anymore. It's been, you know, it's been laid open. And in this time of craziness, it really brings me into a space where, wow, what a movie. I'm the center of the cyclone. And I really don't have anything to do with it. I'm just experiencing it. And it's not really true to say I am experiencing it, because who the heck am I? But there's an observation, there's something, some awareness who's just seeing everything. And to really describe that, try it out. Be in that space. And even if it's just a split second, wow. You know, and comes to mind the no mind meditation from Osho. It's a fantastic tool in this thing of like, fake it till you make it. You know, like sitting in meditation is not being in meditation, but we use it to fake it until we actually make it. And doing and actually there's somebody posted, there's an online 7-day no mind course. Yeah. I don't really know what that is anymore. It's extremely fantastic, beneficial to do that meditation, because after the 1 hour gibberish, your mind really goes like.
I have done the no mind meditation in Tapovan, and that is kind of the thing where you do meditation, and even when somebody talking to you, you don't hear it. It's like you are in your whole meditation.
Yes, and your mind is quiet for a split second after the 1 hour gibberish, or 5, whatever, depends on the situation and yourself. But that suddenly brings you into the space where when the mind comes in again, you are in this watching space. And then you practice for 1 hour, just watching what happens in the body, in the emotions, the stories which are coming up. It's an amazing meditation. And if you can't do it online, do it alone. It's, you know, just tell your neighbors, hey, I'm a little bit crazy, but don't worry, I'm okay. No matter what you hear. Yeah, I'm quite not sure if I answered that question, because all these things, including meeting Osho and trying to explain that experience, it's impossible. There are no words. No clue. Because as soon as I open my mouth and say a word, the one who's hearing it hears something else. and according to one's upbringing and everything, the culture and everything, trust means completely different things to everybody. So it's really hard, and it's just like experience it, step into yourself, and then you know.
Mm. And we are almost at the end of this uh, our interview or our satsang. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, and I also like to again do interview with you again sometime in future, and if somebody like to learn more or go about crystal or this energy balancing, all this thing, how do they contact you? And do you have some online course or program that is happening?
I have on my YouTube channel a 5-week fun meditation course in how to be more the watcher,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really fun. But just for information's sake, whatever you do, if you do not do it 100%, don't even bother. And yeah, seriously, don't even bother, because I remember one time I was doing a 7-day course on my own of dynamic. And you know, with dynamic, you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I don't really want to do that. But okay, I'm doing it anyways. And then, yeah, I put 50% of my energy in, and I get something out of it. And then I heard Osho gave us an example about water. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, meaning 100%. Now, if the temperature is 50 degrees, it doesn't mean that 50% is boiling. Nothing is boiling. If I put 50% of my energy in, nothing is happening. I want to put 100% in. So when you do this 5-week course, it's fun. Just put 100% in, and that gives you a taste of the watcher. It gives you the taste of how it is when you are in the space of observation. And my channel is called Karmic Awareness Catalyst. And maybe later after the interview, we can post that underneath. My website is psychiccrystalreadings.com, and Facebook Satyam Vinaya. My email is satyamvinaya@gmail.com. Just shoot me a message, and I can see how I can twist your arm.
I have before taking this interview, I was thinking about yesterday night. I was thinking about what kind of question I should ask you, and then I suddenly get this intuition that he's a crystal psychic reader. I don't need to ask him any question. He knows all the question before I ask him. He's a psychic. And
well,
then,
I'm not. Yeah.
then I saw your video in YouTube where you have of your course, and you said you mentioned one of the Osho quote where he said if you are trying to do the meditation, then you are not doing a meditation, because minute you try the meditation, you are not doing it.
Yes, but it is this fake it till you make it. You know, that we need to or want to have a little bit of an experience, because when we do something, specifically Osho meditation, which were designed really for our Western mind or modern mind, which exhausts the body, which exhausts the mind. So then there's a split second of awareness and quietness. And as far as questions are concerned, when I give readings, it's basically 2 parts. First, I channel, for lack of better words, your higher self. So I say, you select certain crystals and other things, and then I just speak what comes and what you need to hear. Most of the times the questions are answered already. And if they're not, then you can ask questions which you probably have in your mind anyways, but it is beneficial sometimes to just get clear of what you really want to get clear about. Yeah, and I'm not a mind reader, even though it happened. It seriously happens, but being psychic doesn't necessarily mean that I know everything. No, it doesn't mean that I know everything. It just means that I'm able to tune in and then convey what needs to be conveyed for the highest good and benefit of all. So if you're interested in getting more awareness about your gifts and your challenges and the beneficial steps you want to take in order to be more conscious and aware, I'm more than happy to be of service, because I said in the pre-interview to you when we talked about before, it's like, really, after doing all the sex and drugs and rock and roll one possibly can do, done everything what is possible, then what is left? And what is really clear for me is to be of service to others. And it's not to be somebody or something. What it actually really does, it gives me an intense contentment and fulfillment and a reason to live. And it's my gift, and it's my duty and my pleasure to share the insights and experiences and help others to become more like me. Because for me, even though I don't need to do parties anymore, or there's nothing really 3D excitement happening anymore, just sitting and watching the birds and being here, it's just, wow. There's no need to be in any negative space, sad, sorrow, anger. Mind you, I can get angry very easily, no problem about it. But it's my choice. Yeah, and I'm not a victim anymore of my emotions and things. And just living the life to the fullest is the greatest gift existence gave us. And why waste it? Just wow. And part of my wowness is to help others to be in that space. Because, hey, guys,
Wow. Thanks for coming to our satsang, our meeting of friends. And one important message I'd like to share with you is our Osho Sannyasi team in Nepal
huh?
are planning to celebrate International Meditation Day on 7th of May, which is the birthday of Buddha. There is a full
Yeah,
moon on 7th of May. And as you said, like in one of your video, if we uh, meditate with synchronicity, if we all have the same intention in place, the thing would materialize. So
yes,
all and one of the thing for doing this is like right now people talk about all these drugs, World War, everything, World War, war, getting vaccinated, 5G. But according to WHO, the next biggest killer in next 5 to 10 years is not drugs or war or anything, but stress and suicide and heart disease. And to get over that, the meditation is very crucial, very
yes,
significant. And our whole effort is to make all meditation day, so the whole world, at least for once a year, do the meditation. And our whole Osho team are working very hard on this effort, because none other group or none other team are coming up forth. So we are taking this positive initiative, and we just want your support and your prayer, your blessing as well. And thank you for coming here and giving us this privilege and opportunity. Thank you.
thank you all. And yes, for this world meditation, we all, each of us, want to be one of the 100 monkeys. We want to be one of the crucial mass which spreads out over the whole world. And yes, I will send me a link. I will spread this word far and wide. And friends, not just at that day.
Every day, for
Every day,
as you breathe.
every moment, you remember? Be in awareness and in the watcher, and yeah. Mwah! Thank you.
Thank you.